Hey everyone, Tim Nelson here, coach at World Jiu-Jitsu Academy, Maple Grove. I made a video explaining some standard IBJJF rules, which are increasingly becoming standard rules across the board at tournaments. In this video, I want to make a quick and easy explanation of how to score points, what illegal techniques could get you disqualified, as well as trying to clarify a couple of confusing questions regarding what happens when you go out of bounds during techniques. The following positions and actions will score you 2 points. I've also tried to include some troubleshooting for situations in which points may not be scored or may not be scored until certain requirements are fulfilled. Any takedown where you take your opponent flat to their back should immediately score you 2 points. If you successfully take your opponent to the ground but are unable to secure them flat on their back, you must secure dominant position for 3 seconds on the ground prior to points being counted. If you successfully take your opponent to the ground, but in the process they secure a viable submission, you must escape the submission and maintain control for 3 seconds prior to any points being counted. If your opponent secures grips and falls to their back pulling guard, no points are scored for either party. If you initiate a takedown and in the process your opponent pulls guard, you will receive 2 points for the takedown. If your opponent initiates a takedown and you successfully sprawl and turn behind them, you will receive 2 points. Successfully hitting any sweep which takes you from a bottom position to a top position and stabilizing for 3 seconds will score you 2 points. Executing any technique which takes you from seated bottom position into the referee position where you are behind your opponent will score you 2 points. Transitioning from a side control position to knee on belly with your other foot posted on the mat will result in 2 points. Notice that if while transitioning your other knee stays flat on the mat, no points will be counted. If from side control I successfully score knee on belly points and my opponent escapes and I remain in side control for 3 seconds, I will receive 2 more points for each successive knee on belly. If, however, I successfully transition once and then on my own transition between knee on belly and side control, I will not receive further points for the successive transitions. While the side control position is not worth any points, anytime I'm able to pass my opponent's guard and hold them on their back for 3 seconds, I will be awarded 3 points. Notice how using the X pass, I pass the guard and secure him on his back. Holding this for 3 seconds will result in 3 points. Notice how in this case, as I pass the guard, Nick rolls to his belly and turtles. In this case, I have not passed the guard and will not be awarded points. If I pass the guard and am awarded my 3 points, but then I'm put back in any form of guard by my opponent, successive passes that I stabilize for 3 seconds will also result in a further 3 points. Revisiting this takedown, notice how it does not involve my opponent's guard. As such, I will receive 2 points for a takedown, but will not receive 3 for the pass. The following positions are considered the most dominant in Jiu-Jitsu, and as such are awarded 4 points when stabilized in competition. Successfully stepping over into the mount position and stabilizing for 3 seconds will result in 4 points. Transitioning to the back and successfully getting both hooks in and stabilizing for 3 seconds will result in 4 points. It's important to note that both hooks must be in for points to be awarded. If I go right to a body triangle or if I cross my ankles immediately without first having 2 separate hooks, I will not be awarded points. As I said before, the act of passing guard is what secures 3 points, meaning if you pass directly into mount, once you've stabilized for 3 seconds, you will receive 7 points. It's critical to stabilize a position or pass for 3 seconds. In this example, I pass the guard, go knee on belly and mount, but before I stabilize any for 3 seconds, Nick goes back to guard. In this case, no points are awarded. The following techniques are illegal and can result in disqualification in most major tournament formats. Any submission which targets only the neck, most commonly the can opener from closed guard, is always illegal. Manipulating individual fingers is called small joint manipulation and is always illegal and grounds for disqualification. An important distinction to make is that at purple belt in most tournaments, and in some tournaments at white belt, a wrist lock is a legal submission. Any attempt to use impact on the ground as a means of escape is considered a slam and is grounds for disqualification instantly. One illegal technique that tends to be particularly confusing is reaping the knee. Here I'll attempt to explain what it is and what it is not. Here I demonstrate a legal way to envelop my opponent's knee. Notice my toes are pointed out, heel is pointed in, and my opponent's knee is not affected. Here I demonstrate reaping Nick's knee. Notice my left leg crossing his leg, and now I'm turning his knee towards the opposite ankle. Here we see the two techniques contrasted again. Notice the legal takedown with my toes pointed out and no strain on the knee, and now as I turn inwards crossing the plane, his knee is being turned and torqued. Now we'll attempt to clarify what it means to go out of bounds and the impacts it can have on your matches and point scoring. If during the course of a submission attempt I'm pushed out of bounds and the referee decides it will not imminently be a submission, we will be reset from the feet. If I initiate a takedown in bounds, in which I take my opponent straight to his back and demonstrate control, I'll be given a 3 count and 2 points for the takedown, then reset in the same position in the center. If, on the other hand, I initiate a takedown in bounds, but do not demonstrate control over my opponent once we hit the ground, I will not be given points for the takedown and we will be reset from the feet in the center. If I attempt a sweep that goes out of bounds, which I am not successfully able to complete before it's called, we will be reset from the feet. If I initiate a takedown out of bounds that lands out of bounds, the finish is irrelevant. We will be stood up to the feet with no points awarded. While this video hasn't been comprehensive, I do hope it's helped us begin to grasp the rules and regulations applied with the IBJJF. If you have any further questions, I encourage you to go to IBJJF.org as the rules are posted there.